What is going on, guys? This is JP for Ready.Set.GO, and welcome back to another sports video. Today, we're going to dive in and take a look at probably the most talked about team in football right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what their expectations are, and what they might look like this upcoming season. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on any sports content like this. Alright, now without further delays, let's talk about some football. The Bucs are a team that over the past few years have had inconsistent play at the quarterback position, and because of it, have not been able to take advantage of their prolific players they have in offense. But now with Tom Brady arriving to the Bay Area, things are looking quite outstanding for many Bucs fans and the offense. And as for Brady's arrival, he must be drooling to start the season and throw the ball to his new receivers. The Bucs have a terrific 1-2 punch at the receiver position, with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin manning the number 1 and number 2 spot respectively. Both Evans and Godwin combined for a total of 2,040 yards of offense and 17 touchdowns throughout the last season, which is quite impressive once again considering the inconsistent quarterback play they've had. Now, not only do the Bucs have arguably the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL, but you could also argue that they most definitely have the best tight end tandem in the league as well, with Rob Gronkowski entering the ring. As if they needed to add the best tight end in league history, when they already had a damn good tight end to begin with in O.J. Howard. Now, Howard wasn't particularly spectacular last season, accumulating only 459 yards of offense and 1 touchdown for the whole year. Cameron Brate, on the other hand, who had 4 touchdowns and 311 yards in his own right last season, basically replaced his production. But before last season, Howard did total for 12 touchdowns and 197 yards of offense in his previous 2 years with the team, which is pretty decent when you consider the mouths I have mentioned earlier that this offense has to feed. Now, with the addition of Gronkowski, this is probably going to leave either Howard or Brate as the odd man out. And I say that it's probably going to be Brate. Although Brate is a great tight end in his own right, and is one that I'm sure many teams will be glad to add to their roster, Howard is just younger, more athletically gifted, and overall has more upside. Unless either Howard or Gronkowski gets injured during the course of the season, which is very possible when you take a look at Gronk's health before retirement, I don't expect Cameron Brate to receive much playing time with the team. Plus, Howard is a vertical threat and a nightmare matchup that defenses have to account for every Sunday. I expect the Bucs to deploy a lot of 2 tight end sets with Gronk and Howard, similar to how the Patriots would use Gronk and Hernandez back then. Another thing is, I feel like Brady is in a great spot in Tampa with head coach Bruce Arians, who is no stranger to running a high prolific offense in the past, manning the Steelers offense back then with names such as Hines Ward, Emmanuel Sanders, Mike Wallace, and Antonio Brown. Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Arians also prides himself in building strong relationship with his quarterbacks, with him explaining that he believes bonds with the team's quarterback has to be so much stronger and deeper than any other bond. And there is proof that Arians does indeed put a lot of emphasis into his quarterbacks. Bruce Arians was reportedly fired from Pittsburgh back in 2011 for what he believes to be because of too close relationship to Ben Roethlisberger, which to me seems pretty absurd if that was indeed to be the case. Ben Roethlisberger played tremendous football under Arians, and you can certainly see that both got along well with each other on and off the football field. Arians has also mentored Andrew Luck back then with the Colts in 2012, where he took over as interim coach back at the time when Chuck Pagano was battling leukemia. He was then named Coach of the Year as he helped the Colts clinch a playoff spot, going 9-3 at the time when he took over. After that year is when Arians got his first NFL coaching opportunity with the Cardinals. Carson Palmer had arguably the best season of his career in 2015 under Arians, where the Cardinals went 13-3 that season and then made it all the way to the NFC National Championship game, where they were then defeated by the Carolina Panthers in a 49-15 blowout fashion. Nevertheless, Bruce Arians once again won Coach of the Year for that season, the second time in his young coaching career. So once again, all these events that took place prove my point that as to why Tom Brady is going to enjoy playing for Bruce Arians just as much as he did with Bill Belichick. I do believe that this offense might need a couple of games to get together and find a rhythm. And when I say getting into a rhythm, I mean offensive players outside of Gronkowski having to adjust to Tom Brady's play style of offense. Now, one thing Brady won't have in Tampa that he did have in New England is a pass-catching running back, or just a dual threat running back in general. Over the years as a member of the Patriots, Brady has had a plethora of good running backs that he has been able to rely on the ground and in the air. I'm sure we all remember names like Dion Lewis, Rex Burkhead, LeGarrette Blount, James White, Danny Woodhead, and there may also be others that I missed. Brady might miss having those nice dink and dunk passes for decent yardage gain in clutch situations, but I expect the Bucs' plethora of weapons to more than make up for that void. So expect a few miscommunications here and there, and maybe some headaches from this offense in the first few games. But I'd be very surprised if the Bucs don't end up with a top 5 offense at the end of the regular season, let alone top 3. As for the Bucs' defense, although not as great as the offense, I believe they're good enough for the team to not solely rely on the offense to carry them through games. The Bucs have NFL sack leader Shaq Barrett under the franchise tag, who shined for them last season with 19.5 sacks, 1 interception, and 19 tackles for loss. The team also has Jason Pierre-Paul, who can still get after the quarterback and has amassed 21 sacks since being traded to the team back in 2018. Even with parts of his fingers on his right hand missing due to that freak accident that he sustained handling fireworks back as a member of the Giants. The Bucs also brought back Ndamukong Suh to a 1-year contract. Let's not forget about their run defense, which according to Buccaneers.com was near impenetrable for the 2019 campaign, allowing just 73.8 rushing yards per game and yielded the 11th best run defense of the past 4 decades since the NFL went to a 16-game schedule back in 1978. Bucs fans must also be excited to see linebacker Devin White, who had a decent rookie season with the team, totaling 91 combined tackles, along with 2.5 sacks and 1 interception. I expect White to take the second-year leap and become a star linebacker for this team, along with his fellow brother in Pittsburgh, Devin Bush Jr. White and fellow teammate Levante David should combine to form a dynamic linebacker duo this upcoming season. The one area that seems pretty suspicious to me when it comes to the Bucs is their secondary. They rank 20th in coverage defense with a coverage grade of 70.1 according to Pro Football Focus. They are relatively young and inexperienced, while nobody on that secondary really stands out either. But with a fierce pass rushing attack, as mind you, they were able to get to the quarterback 47 times last year. As long as they are able to get to the quarterback with the same effectiveness, they should be able to mask this secondary without any problems. If not, then the Bucs better hope that they see some improvement from their individual players on that secondary. Because according to teamrankings.com, the Bucs allowed 270 pass yards per game last year, good for 30th in the league. And that's not going to cut it with prolific offenses such as the Falcons and the Saints in your same division. And both of these teams have the potential to boast a top 5 offense in the league this year. Overall guys, barring any major injuries to key players, I expect this team to become a powerhouse and make a deep playoff run in the NFC. Anything shorter than a Super Bowl trip in their own stadium come by February 7th next year would be a massive disappointment to the organization. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and support us by subscribing to our channel. Also, let me know in the comment section below how you guys think the Bucs will fare against the rest of the league this year. This is JP for Ready.Set.GO, and see you guys next time.